One half of the Ageless Galaxy. This is Thomas. The other half.
The other half.
Yeah. So basically, he handles the artistic part of Ageless Galaxy. I handle the business part of it. Art guy, business guy. Basically that.
Well, our brand is, hence the name Ageless Galaxy. Our brand is inspired by space and exploration. So a lot of what you see in every collection is always taken from that concept of search for knowledge or search for something interesting, and everything that we do is always inspired by like NASA or like space patches or anything to do for like going out and in search of something, you know. So yeah,
one of our mottos is one of our first mottos is actually stay fucking curious. We believe that really represents of what we're about. You know, it's all about exploration. It's all about trying to find out about the unknown and trying to just be open-minded about everything, basically. So yeah, that's one of the brand mottos that we have right now.
The name Ageless Galaxy actually derives from the never-ending time and space. So this is where it gets a little deep. I mean, as much as we like to have fun with our brand, we have a very serious side to it. On the serious side, it's really more on you as a person living on this planet, right? You have a short amount of time, and the way we look at it as time is really precious, so you got to get out there and do what you love, because as a human being, when you run out of time and you pass away, the galaxy will continue to live on with or without you. So as a human being or as a creative or as a normal person, what can you do and be remembered for it? So always try to like leave your mark and make sure that you are here to inspire and people can remember you for what you have done, hence the name Ageless Galaxy. So
yeah, it's basically about that never-ending time and space that we understand, and then what we're trying to do is just try to leave a mark in anything that we do, basically. That's why we have lift the stripe to live, which is on our t-shirt as well. So that actually derives from that. You know, like you gotta hustle hard just to make it. And at the end of the day, it's not just making it, but also like
proving yourself that you can do it. Yeah.
And how can you inspire people and all that kind of stuff. That's what we try to do in our bubble, actually.
So like, you know, there are a lot of brands nowadays. There are a lot of people who want to start up a brand, and they're all about the hype. And when you get all involved into the hype, and then maybe it's trendy now, and then next year, oh, I don't want to do a clothing line anymore. But for us, ever since we started this, we started with zero money, nothing, no investors, nothing, and we just put our heads together to be able to offer us as a design team to have people to help people with their design needs. We made money from there. It goes into our brand, and then we started our clothing line, and that's 4 years later. Now we are an actual brand, and we're into different stores, and it's only just the beginning for us. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think the thing that most people don't know about Ageless Galaxy is that we do run a branding agency as well. So that's actually when he's talking about we don't have any money, is that we didn't invest any of our own personal money, but then we work for other people first, and then we get that and we just spawn the brand from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the collection, it differs actually.
Yeah.
For the collection, like we get exposed to, I don't know, we were just looking around and then we got exposed to something interesting for us, and then we try to implement it into our brand mentality, our brand designs and all that kind of stuff. So like the latest collection that we did, like 003A, some of the graphics is inspired by the 80s, what do you call it?
Space.
Yeah. Like that kind of thing, like the, I don't know how do you call it?
I don't know. Every collection is different. You know, it really depends on like what music we're listening to, or what movies we're inspired by, or like let's say, you know, sometimes we like to look into different eras, like, you know, the 1990, the 90s, the 80s, or the 60s, and we try to take elements from that and see like how would it look and translate into our collection, you know. That's for the collection. But in terms of like, let's say our brand side, our inspiration, it comes from a lot of things. That I personally, when I brought the concept of starting Ageless with OG over here, we were like, what type of brand do we want to have? And I think the first thing that we said was we wanted to be respected outside, you know. Being from Jakarta, we wanted to represent Indonesia and basically show the West that we have cool brands here, and we can be respected outside by bigger brands, you know. So going to college, I was always inspired by like Benny Gold, the Hundreds, what do you call it, like Jeff Staple, and now you start seeing all these like other brands like Palace and all these guys. But like, you know, you're always hearing about the West. You never hear about, oh, there's a dope brand coming from Indonesia. And I think for us, we've always been on that path that we want to tweak that a little bit and be like, damn, there's some really cool brands out in Indonesia, and there are a lot of creative people out down in Indonesia that show the rest of the world that, you know, that we can be cool too, you know, like we can be different too. So yeah,
that's basically it.
So this is where it gets a little deep. So now I'm just trying to figure out how to say it without making it sound, you know. All right, so basically 5 years ago I was diagnosed with cancer, and I'm a stage 4 cancer survivor. And when I was going through the whole thing, Ageless Galaxy was just a concept that I had in college, right? And when I was going through my whole treatment and everything, I didn't have a lot of things to do. But you know, when you're going through a certain type of sickness where it involves death, right? You kind of think about everything that you've been doing in your life, and you question about like, do you want to survive, or do you want to like, you know, pull the plug and lose, right? But I'm still young. I have a lot to accomplish. I have a lot to prove to my family, my friends, you know, stuff like that. So I think for me it was really more on when I opened up this file that I worked on in college, because it was a final year project, and my past self told my future self, I came up with the tagline, live to strive, strive to live, because there were a lot of these amazing like astronauts who were all about the future, all about you know, exploration, that I was inspired by. And there was just a quote that I read somewhere, and I just wrote it, and then it kind of lingered with me. So when I opened up these files, I read live to strive, strive to live. I figured out, in order for me to survive, I had to live the mentality of my brand. You know what I mean? So and that's how it spawned out. So when I met up with OG was an old friend of mine. When we started hanging out, I was talking about like, I have this concept of a brand, and he met me and I was just recovering. I had no hair, I had no eyebrows. I just like finished with chemo. But the great thing was I was recovering because I was positive. I was full on, what do you call it? Semangat. Semangat to live, you know? Like I couldn't take no for an answer. I couldn't take death as the option. I had to prove to myself that I needed this, you know. So when I met up with him, you know, that's where we started discussing about like, yo, like I proved it, you know, like I followed the mentality, and now I'm here, you know. So that's why we've always kept that as the motto. If you really want to achieve anything, you can. You just have to, you know, keep your mind to it. And
we believe like, how do you do it is that you have to live it.
Yeah.
You cannot just be your work. You cannot just be your daily job.
You can't call yourself a lifestyle brand and not be about the lifestyle, you know, like you really can't. You have to care about what you do in your daily grind, and that's what we feel we want to inspire other people to do. And that's really, so Ageless Galaxy is the platform, and our voice is communicated through that, you know.